They assemble at night, each one having prepared as diligently as possible for the time given to them before the witching hour, the hour of reckoning, the time when they begin outdoor cartoon television. Stray Casts is on the air.
Fish it out.
Good evening, glory. Hallelujah to ya. What the hell's your story and what's going through ya? We're living like kings off the fat of the land. Working like dogs in bass fish and talk show land. That's right. It's time for Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television live, right meow, here on StrayCast.net and the Stray Cast Facebook page. I am your host, Pat Renwick. We have another Basstastic show. Just another one. Every week, it gets better and better and better for us anyway. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully for you, too. That's the goal here. Another big star from the Bass Galaxy tonight coming at us live from day one of Bass Fest, the Hack Attack. Greg Hackney. Yeah, coming on. 710. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. The Hack Attack. Greg Hackney. That's perfect, Ginge. Thank you very much. That's perfect. Also coming to us from La Crosse, Wisconsin, for the FLW Tour event tonight. What is it? The eve of the Derby. Scott Canterbury, FLW Tour stud. Yeah. And then a special mystery guest, a bass fishing personality from the swamps of New Jersey. Stay tuned for that one after Scott Canterbury. Hey, my co-pilot tonight, the usual co-pilot, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. He's at Lake Puckaway the Pain, I think. In where's that at?
I like Wisconsin.
In West Wisconsin. He's there for a Bass Nation Derby. So this dude, our social media director, he's feeling California, looking Minnesota.
That's what I'm going for.
That is you, JP High co-pilot tonight. Yeah. Did you see how I did? Did you see how I did that thing that they do?
That was urban.
Yeah, I did that. I did that. And don't forget to get your questions ready for JP when Greg Hackney and Scott Canterbury and our guest from the swamps of Jersey come on tonight. It's a big fandango. But don't forget the guy that holds this whole fandango together. He's over here to my right, hidden off cam, but he's on cam now, ladies and gentlemen. Producer to Ginger Ninja. Yeah. That's a Ginger Ninja. I lost it. I've completely lost my mind. But hey,
it was when you did that wave.
It was that thing I did. It was Hey, put the power poles down. Don't go nowhere. When we get back, it's Greg Hackney right here, bass buzzing with us. Catch you in a moment.
Outrageous Outdoors is quickly becoming the industry leader in tournament fishing apparel. There's no better way to represent your sponsors than with a Outrageous jersey. At Outrageous, you can get a short sleeve, long sleeve, sweatpants, the best prices in the industry. Outrageous also offers club and team discounts, special high school and college prices. Our website is easy to navigate, and Outrageous' staff will make the process quick and easy for you. Outrageous Outdoors, offering high-quality tournament apparel for the weekend angler. Outfit yourself from head to toe. Check out Outrageous online at www.outrageous.com.
Quality, dependability, consistency, and fish-catching performance is what separates a War Eagle spinnerbait from the pack. Hand-assembled, inspected, and tested in Rogers, Arkansas, War Eagle lures are the choice of Mike McClellan, Andy Morgan, Edwin Evers, and you, the serious bass angler. War Eagle lures, when you absolutely have to catch fish. Find War Eagle lures at your local tackle store or visit wareaglelures.com today. Oh yes, oh my, oh my, oh my. Welcome back to Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm Pat Renwick. We are super stoked right now to bring you, in my opinion, the baddest ass in bass fishing. Live from Sam Rayburn Lake in Tejas. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Greg Hackney right here. Woo! That's how we do it. What's up, Greg?
How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing okay, man. It's great to have you back on the show, man.
It's good to be here.
How you feeling over there in Texas right now?
Oh, I'm feeling okay. You know, I wish day one would have been a little better, but I'm hanging in there.
Good. We're thankful for that. You were chasing the rats today, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
But hey, we know where you are. You're in the land of the choo-choo snoogan fatty magoos, and that can change in just a day's fishing. I mean, you, like they said in Dumb and Dumber, you still got a chance, you know?
Well, the deal was today I never caught any of those big ones, and I need me a 9-pounder.
Yeah.
A lot of places that would be, just a shot in the dark. But here, one of those places where there's lots of 9-pounders, being Texas, everything's big in Texas.
And it can happen like that, boom, in the blink of an eye, man, in the blink of an eye.
But the fishing here is incredible, honestly. This is the deal. I had a bad day today, and I still feel like realistically I caught, 60 to 75 bass. I mean, it was
wow.
I wish it would have just been a fun fishing trip because it would have been a lot of fun. But, in the Elite Series, there was a lot of anxiety, and it wasn't that fun. I hate to say that, but it wasn't that fun. I was a little disappointed when I'm swinging on them, and they, they're blowing out of the water.
It's a whole different format, isn't it? This Bass Fest this year, it's a little different. Can you tell the viewers out there what it's all about this year in case they don't know how this format's working?
Honestly, I think it's the wave of the future, the way we're doing it here this week. And honestly, I think, there are a lot of guys that, because I'd fished Major League Fishing before, so I kind of knew how this was going to work. There were a lot of guys a little standoffish about it, but I think everybody overall loves this. We are weighing these fish, writing them down on a scorecard, and releasing them. And, if you have one over 21 inches, you can bring it in, to weigh in for a chance at a Toyota truck. But all the other fish, you basically we're catching them, we're weighing them, and we're releasing them. And, this is one of those tournaments where we can guarantee that, we got a 100% live release. It's pretty awesome because, the deal is normally like today when you caught 5, you would have marked them and then have to cull and do all that. Sure. And the way we're doing it, it's just we're a lot more efficient this week. I'm pretty excited about it. And honestly, I think Bass is too. And I think this is going to be a deal. We're going to see a lot more of this. Now, I'm not necessarily say maybe 100% of the time, but we're definitely going to see a lot more of this in the future. I mean, honestly, for the resource, it's pretty awesome because typically this time of the year, honestly, it's hard on the fish. These fish recently through spawning, and, those post-spawn fish are the hardest fish to take care of because they've been stressed by the spawn, and, then you haul them around, you're dealing with water temperatures, here it's close to 90 today, and, but in this format, it doesn't matter. I mean, because basically you're reeling that fish in, you're weighing it, you're writing down the weight, and we're releasing that fish at that time, and everybody's happy.
That's awesome. And so your marshal is basically acting as Dave Mercer in these situations.
Well, I guess basically he's acting like Trip Weldon.
Oh yeah, okay.
Mercer really does
yeah,
his talk.
He just talks.
He just does a good job at talking.
Yeah.
He just runs his mouth the whole time. He really doesn't weigh any fish. He's just chatty cat.
So let's say, for example, that you're fishing out there and a fish just totally chokes that 5XD, and you release it and it doesn't make it. Is the marshal responsible for penalizing?
Basically on this deal, we do not have a deadfish penalty, and it's typical if you catch one deep on a worm hook or whatever. Basically what I'm doing is just cutting the line and releasing the fish.
Gotcha.
Typically we would do that same thing and release the fish into the live well, and then you would hope and pray that, the fish makes it because you don't want that dead fish penalty. But, this is the deal. When you catch a fish, even one that's caught deep, what I mean, the hook penetrates it deep or whatever, that fish has a lot better chance of going back to the lake. It stands a better chance than it does if you put it in that live well. The other thing is, I'm not hoping one chokes a 5XD. I'm hoping one chokes a 10XD.
Right.
I don't even have a 5XD tied on.
Okay.
I got 2 10XDs and an 8XD. We're really hoping for those 7+ fish. We're fishing a little big this week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely not finesse fishing. Not at all.
and a 5XD is a finesse bait compared to the 10XD. No doubt.
It really is. And, the deal about that is, even the 10XD, it looks big compared to a 5XD, but it's really not that big. The deal is these fish get big, they're not eating crickets.
That's for sure, man. So, like, how do you gear up personally for throwing that 10XD? Like, what's your weapons of choice there?
Basically for me, I like a bigger reel for throwing those big plugs. A 200 size reel. And regardless of the brand, I use Quantum, but 200 kind of, we have a 100, a 200, and a 300. And a 200 for me is a minimum. I really like the 300. And those bigger spools just handle the line better, and they handle that big lure. The spool doesn't turn as fast. The other thing is I throw the 10XD and an 8XD both on my Hack Attack flipping stick.
Oh, gotcha.
And the reason for that is because I'm taking the hooks that come off the package. They're really good quality hooks, that come on all the Strike Kings crankbaits. But I like to go oversized with these bigger plugs, and I'm either using a 2-aught or actually a 3-aught. Actually, all my baits have 3-aughts on there, which are a treble hook. That one hook is big as what they put on most spinnerbaits.
Right.
And so the deal is you got this big bait, you got those big hooks, and you need to be able to move that bait when that fish gets it. And a lot of times, like the same, KVD tour rod that I'm cranking a 2.5, a 1.5, a 5XD on, because you're dealing with a lot smaller hooks. I like a crankbait rod the best for those smaller crankbaits, but really on those big baits, either an 8.0, an 8XD, or a 10XD, I really like my flipping stick.
Nice.
And really the deal with that is you're cranking that plug at a high rate of speed, and it's a funny deal, but for me personally, it's almost like a different strike. Like when a fish attacks one of these bigger plugs, it's not the same. You know how a lot of times you're cranking a 1.5 or 2.5 or a Series 5, all of a sudden the bait gets heavy.
Sure.
That really doesn't happen much with these big plugs. I mean, the deal with it is, one gets it. I mean, it's like a frog bite. It just seems like those bigger baits get a more aggressive. When they attack it, they're aggressive and a lot harder. And really the deal with it is I need to be able to move that bait in those big hooks. The cool thing about these baits, typically on a crankbait, you want both hooks in the fish. But really with these big plugs, and I'm using a 3-aught hook, if I get one of those hooks in these fish, you've got that fish caught. It's just a different deal. And the funny thing about it is today, even I had some 14-inch ones choke that 10XD and have both sets of hooks in their mouth. I don't know if that fish knows it's bigger, it's a bigger target, and they just hit it hard. It's a different deal. It's awesome. It's kind of like, it's kind of like a frog bite. It's addicting.
Nice. Now here, 2 more questions on this 10XD. Are you gearing up with heavy line? First question.
Really, I'm fishing fairly deep with that bait for 18 to 25, and I'm throwing 14-pound gamma fluorocarbon.
Okay.
That's the lightest line I'm throwing in it. And that bait will still crash the bottom to 25. The other cool thing about it is that big reel, the big rod, you can throw that bait, even if you don't have wind behind you, you can throw it 60 yards. And realistically today when I had because the wind blew, felt like it was blowing 20 or 25 at times. I mean, honestly, I think the realm of 75 to 100 yards is not out of the question.
Wow.
Sometimes today I would thumb the reel to stop it because I didn't want to reel it in that far. I mean, it throws good, but I never throw those baits. Like I said, either occasionally on the 8XD, I would downsize to 12, but most of the time for me, it's pretty standard across the board, 14 on the 8.0, 8XD, or the 10XD, because this is the deal. That's a lot heavier bait, and it's a lot harder on your line than, say, throwing a Series 5 or a 5XD, or even a 6XD. Typically on a 6XD, I throw 12-pound gamma edge, and never go bigger than that. But with these bigger plugs, I can reach the same depths and deeper with bigger line, bigger rod, bigger hooks. I mean, it just makes you a lot more efficient.
Gotcha. Now, next question. Why can we still not get the Hack Attack flip stick? It's like one of the most sought after rods in the industry. And they're hard as hell
You
to
know,
get.
honestly, I wish I could answer that, but I can't. And you know the deal. I really hate to even say that, but I can't. I can't explain that.
Are you hiding them from the public? Is this a secret weapon of yours?
You know, it is kind of a secret. You know, it's just a deal for me. I just have a lot of confidence in it, and I'm not saying that you got to have it, but man, you got to have it.
Dude,
I don't know. I mean, it's pretty cool to be able to have one rod. I got a swim bait on one. I got 10XD on the other one, and I got a slither rig rigged on the other one. You know, it's pretty cool to have a rod that you can do everything with.
They're
but
awesome
with that
rods.
being said, it's a big bait deal. You know what I'm saying? It's not an everyday rod. You know, it's those situations when you are using bigger than normal lures.
So how many of those rods do you think you personally have in your arsenal? Like how many do you own? Like 150, 200?
No, really, I don't. You know, I'm down to about 25.
Wow. It's whittling away. I mean, we need to get the guys at Quantum.
You know, it is, and it's honestly, it's in the back of my mind, it worries me a little bit.
That's your deal.
You know, it's kind of like having a blanket. You know, like Linus on Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
You never saw him without his blanket. It was dirty, but you never saw him without it. That's kind of the way I'm about that Hack Attack.
He always had
stick.
it. So what's the evolution of the Hack Attack flip stick? Like, did you have some rod that you modeled it after at one time? I mean, I remember back in the days.
Actually, I modeled it after a bunch of rods.
Okay.
You know, it's funny, fishing as you evolve, but as lines change, I had one flipping stick that, back in the day of flipping big mono and then fluorocarbon and then, honestly for me, I'll tell you this about the Hack Attack flipping stick. When I'm flipping with it, it is a braid only deal. It's actually, honestly, for me personally, flipping fluorocarbon, it is not stiff enough. I like a rod with a faster action. It has a moderate, slow, parabolic action, which is perfect for flipping braid. But realistically, for a guy out there that's just, straight fluorocarbon guy, flipping fluorocarbon, I wouldn't recommend it. It's good for throwing a swim bait on fluorocarbon, and it's great for throwing a crankbait on, these big plugs on fluorocarbon. But when it comes down, because it's fairly a soft rod, for flipping, it's definitely a braid deal. And it was designed for that.
Sure.
It's just one of those deals. It worked out for these big plugs came along later, and I tried them on it, and I liked it. And swim bait deal too. But it was definitely designed for, and realistically, I don't, about 1.5 ounces is the biggest weight I ever flip on it. If I go any heavier than that, because occasionally you have to go to 1 3/4 or 2 ounces, I don't use it because it's a hair soft. So it's really, for me personally, flipping, it's good up to about 1 3/8 ounces. And after that, it's a little soft. And it's a long rod, roughly 8 foot, and that starts to lean on you a little bit. And I'll tell you this, there are a lot of flipping sticks out there, and I feel of everybody's. You know what I mean? I hate that didn't come out right, did it? But, when I go to a tackle store or wherever, and the biggest problem I see with there are a lot of other great flipping sticks out there, but the problem most of them have, when they go to a rod that's that long, the handle's too long. Like,
agreed.
It's not necessarily that I like a short-handled rod, but most of the other flipping sticks out there that I felt of, the handles are long. And how I judge that is if I make a pitch with my left hand, and I pitch with both right or left, but if that handle touches my forearm or around my elbow, it's too long. The deal is I like for my rod, and this is his personal preference, but I like for my rod to be a hair tip heavy. And like there are a lot of rod manufacturers out there that are building flipping sticks long ones, 8 foot, 8.5, 9, now with no restrictions on that longer ones.
Sure.
But the problem is they're making that handle longer so that rod is balanced. But for me personally, that's not the deal. I like for my flipping stick, regardless if it's 7/6 or 8 foot, to be a little tip heavy.
I totally agree, and I totally agree. Yeah, I
don't want it to be totally balanced. I want it to be a little heavy on the end. And the biggest reason for me for wanting that deal is if that rod is completely balanced and you pick it up and you don't feel anything, up there on the end, You've made a pitch. You have a tendency to pick up too hard. A lot of times that fish will feel you. And when that happens, they will jerk. They will run when they feel that pressure on the other end, and that will cause you to strike in a bad position. Yeah. I don't want, and just accurate-wise, I want that handle to be a hair shorter, roughly 9.5 inches. And then I found that 9.5 inches gets it done.
Dude, I'm right there with you, 100%. Hey, okay, let's go over a little Greg Hackney career in retrospective here, okay? Let's break it down. 2005 FLW AOY. 2009 Forest Wood Cup champion. You have 5 W's on the Elite Series, or 5 W's in BASS and 3 on the Elite Series. 2014 Angler of the Year, 133 times in the money, 52 top 10s. I'm keeping on going here. Bass Rookie of the Year 2004, $3.24 million in winnings. Now, my question to you is, and we do this with all you elite guys when you come on the show, do you know how many pounds of bass that you've caught over your career, Greg? Do you have any idea?
I wouldn't have a clue, honestly.
All right, well, JP, our statistician over here, he knows. He knows exactly. JT, tell him, JP.
Greg, you've caught 6,129 pounds of bass.
6,129 pounds of bass. Woo! Wow.
That sounds like a lot.
That's a ton. That's a ton. If that was in crawfish, you'd be a rich man.
Yes, I would.
You would totally be.
I don't know what the dollar. What does that figure a pound?
Oh gosh, that's like 42 cents a pound. I think you're doing good.
Yes, good.
Hey, 2016, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I love Swindle, but I wanted you to win AOY. Okay. I know this is weird. I feel weird, but right now you're sitting in a pretty decent position. Do you have vengeance on your mind?
No, I really don't. The deal is that you just want to go out every day and fish as well as you can. But would I like to win the Angler of the Year this year? Hell yes. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those deals that, realistically, you just go out and give 100%. You don't know how it's going to turn out. I'll be honest with you. This year for me so far, I feel good about how it's been, but it has really been a grind. Every tournament's just not been. It's not necessarily I've had bad practices. My practices have been okay. It's just, dang, everything just seems like it's really been hard to come by this year. But I'm very motivated, and I think last year has something to do with that. I'm hungry, but I've been hungry my whole career. And one thing I have learned, I've been around long enough to know now that, things happen for a reason, and some things you don't have any control over. And I just try to control the things I can. And whatever happens, happens. But I'm definitely giving 100%.
We can tell. And he quoted Jerry McInnes unknowingly there. When Jerry was on the show not too long ago, he said, Pat, everything happens in bass fishing for a reason, just like in life. And it's so true, Greg. It's so true. It's just part of life, regardless of what field you're in, whether it's bass fishing or you're in the oil business or whatever. Everything, life is a roller coaster ride. And, 2017 is just part of it. And it's up and down. It's a thrill ride, It sure is, man. Every day on the water's a thrill ride, whether you're an Elite Series pro or a recreational angler. That's how I feel about it, Greg.
Yeah, it really is. Fishing is an adrenaline rush. Whether you're tournament fishing or just fishing, that's why we do it. It's an adrenaline rush. It really is. That's why we do it. The tug is the drug. There's no doubt. Hey, is it a true story that you are a squatcher? Do you, or does Jay Kumar just make that stuff up? I don't like to talk about that, but when my career ends as a professional bass fisherman, I'm gonna give 100% to squatching. Yeah, that's your retirement gig right there. Yes, it is. It is. There's a few areas of the country where I'm needing to do some looking. Now, do you think that what would be more dangerous, like a skunk ape or a yeti? Oh my gosh, boy, that's a hard deal. That'd be like a deer hunter having, is a mule deer or whitetail. I mean, you a guy's got to have a wall full of both.
I agree. Now that's perfect segue to my next question. Now, Greg, what imaginary creature would you love to hunt and kill? I mean, imaginary creature. What would it be? If you had to pick an imaginary creature to hunt and kill, what would it be?
Oh, wow. The list is long.
Go ahead and hit us with some.
An imaginary, right?
Yeah.
You know what? It would probably be either a dragon or a minotaur.
Okay, I'm feeling you there. I mean, dragons and boobies are one of the coolest things in life, and I think you kind of got it there. So, all right, now this question here comes from a mutual friend of ours, who I was texting him with earlier today, and you're actually his skipper on his pontoon boat, and you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. And when I hunt the minotaur, can I ride a centaur?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yes, he certainly can. He certainly can. Now, this question comes from Mark Zona, okay, and this is from Mark to you. Live on Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television tonight via me, Pat Renwick. Now, the question is, what is your hidden true love in life? Your hidden true love in life.
Now, say that one more time.
Okay. Again, this is from Mark Zona, and he wants to know, what is your hidden true love in life?
My hidden true life.
Your hidden true love.
Probably county fairs.
County fairs. Okay, now
Yeah,
we'll take
probably
that.
One of my favorite. One thing that I look forward to every year in the fall are county fairs.
Okay, well, the answer that Mark Zona said, that the true answer is the smell of puppies. That you really love the smell of puppies. That's not true? Is he making this up?
Yeah, he's making that
Hey, Greg, you ever been on a game show before?
up. I have not.
Okay, you want to be on?
I think Jeopardy would probably be something I'd.
Well, you know what? We're gonna play Bass Fishing Jeopardy right now, and you are a contestant. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna say some words or phrases, and you relate them to whatever pops into your mind. Okay? You ready?
Okay.
Let's play some Bass Fishing Jeopardy. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. Right now, Bassmaster Elite Series Tour Pro Greg Hackney. The first word to you is water carnival. Water carnival. What do you think?
Water
of?
carnival.
Yes, what do you think of when I say water carnival?
The shad spawn.
The shad
What
spawn.
is the shad spawn?
What is the shad spawn? Is that a correct answer? Yes, we have a correct answer. One for Greg. The roundhouse. The roundhouse, Greg.
What is mat fishing?
What is mat fishing? Okay, we're gonna give them that too. Greg, tree pig. Tree pig. We're stumping Hackney.
Deep in thought.
I mean, the tree pig got me.
The tree pig
Shoe pick.
is a what?
What is a shoe pick?
What is a shoe pick? Okay, a tree pig's
What is
really.
other alias? What is a bowfin? What is a mudfish? What is a grinnell?
Grinnell, boom, there it is. Okay, and I'm scared of those, Craig. I don't know why, but for some reason, I don't. I've grabbed alligators, but somehow those grinnells scared the tar out of me. I don't know why.
Well, at home they're also referred to as cypress trout.
They're mean, dude. They don't quit, and they want to kill you.
Don't we call them dogfish?
They're dogfish too. That's the same.
Yeah,
deal.
same thing. Yeah.
Lycanthropy. The word is lycanthropy.
What is panache?
What is panache? I don't even know what that means, but do you know what lycanthropy really is, Greg?
I do not.
It is the study of werewolves. The study of werewolves. Like chupacabras, which you can also take up hunting chupacabras.
Oh well, now I do have some experience with the chupacabra.
I want to hear it.
So far, honestly, so I spent a lot of time in South Texas, with the chupacabra. Which is actually what a chupacabra is, what in theory that aliens came to this planet and they let their pets out to go to the restroom and they didn't come back. And now, and it started in Mexico and South Texas, is overrun with chupacabra.
It's a true story that you just made up right then.
That's a true story. I mean, honestly, if you research that, that's one of the theories with the chupacabra.
Yeah, there it is, history with Greg Hackney right there. You never thought it would get this deep, did you, Greg?
It is. It's like it's went into another realm.
Greg, you ever see that movie Jaws?
Jaws?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like 10,000 times?
Okay, I love the movie Jaws. It's one of the best movies of all time. From the opening scene with the girl swimming naked out to the buoy to the very end when they blow the shark up.
It's classic.
It's.
I'll promise you, the year that movie aired, everyone was scared to go in the water.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It scared the snot out of me when I was a little guy.
Hey, Quinn is my favorite actor in that movie.
Well, that's perfect because my question to you.
It's so awesome.
My question to you is: let's say that we had to recreate the movie Jaws with bass fishing personalities. And I'm considering the three main players, Sheriff Brody, Quinn, and then whatever the hell Richard Dreyfuss's name was in that. I don't know what he was.
Hey, Richard, okay, in bass fishing?
Yeah, who would the three players be?
Dean Rojas is Richard Dreyfuss.
Okay, I'm with you.
And I'll tell you why. I'm not talking about fishing. I'm talking about frogging. When he tells Richard Dreyfuss, I'm not talking about fishing, I'm talking about sharking. It's no doubt. When I see Dean, when I run by Dean down the lake fishing, I always make that little, kind of under my breath. I don't say it out loud, but I always think that I'm like talking about fishing, I'm talking about frogging. So I'm working for a living.
Who's the sheriff? Who's the sheriff going to be, Greg? Who's the sheriff? Who's playing the sheriff? We got Rojas.
Who would be? He's kind of goofy. I'd probably say Trip Weldon.
Trip Weldon is the sheriff. He's got to be. He's the warden.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be the, and how the sheriff was kind of, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a fit.
And you're Quinn. Undoubtedly, you're Quinn.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I mean, dude,
I went down the shark's throat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I died with honor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you are a bass and badass.
I can see me sitting in the back of the boat with a slit and some crackers, and that reel going tick, 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 tick. Yeah.
Hey, we're on the Facebook Live right now, and your fans got some questions for you, Greg. Are you ready to field some questions from your fans?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead there. JP, what do they got going?
We got someone who says Godzilla ain't got nothing on you.
You hate that, don't you, Greg?
Say that again?
Yeah, the question was, or the statement was, Godzilla ain't got nothing on me. You yelled at me last time I asked you to say that.
Yes, a long time ago. I hate to say that, but when that clip airs, I'm like, I can't even look. It's not that I'm embarrassed, but I just can't watch that because I want to say that's not me. I didn't do that.
Yeah, you did that.
You did. That happened.
We got Philip Gordon's watching. He wants to know, do you smell your hook when flipping?
Do I smell what?
Do you smell your hook when you're flipping? Philip Gordon's asking you that question.
Do I smell?
No.
Oh, do I smell my hook? Yeah.
Yeah, smell it.
Do I smell my hook? Oh, yeah, I always smell it. It smells
Does it smell like Teen Spirit?
I'm sorry, but a couple times there, that it's probably my cell phone service out here, in the hill country of Texas. I'm probably but yes, I smell my hook flipping 100%. Now I say that. Now I'm wrong about that. Anytime I'm flipping with braid, I smell my hook. With fluorocarbon, not always. Just a Palomar with fluorocarbon. 100% of the time, regardless of size of the weight, with braid. I always snell my hook. But with fluorocarbon, 100% of the time, Palomar not.
Cool. We got Glenn watching. He wants to know the biggest mistake you see when people are fishing grass.
Biggest mistake, a lot of times what guys do, honestly, they like to set their boat right against the grass and flip over in the mat. And typically with me, the first thing I do is start on the outside edge. I like to have my boat completely out clean and flip to the very outer edge of the grass. And then once I've done that, then, move in. But I see a lot of guys, even the guys in our bunch, and honestly, there are always fish in the mat, where the grass is the thicket. But a lot of times, there's a chance for a school of fish to be more on that outside edge. And so I always like to start, where the grass is not as thick and then flip on the inside. Typically for me, flipping grass is, 95% of the time, regardless of water clarity, is, I flip with braid. And I know a lot of guys will look at the water clarity, not thinking about going in the grass, and just look at the water clarity and flip fluorocarbon. And I feel like that, I'm going to catch a few more bites by flipping braid. It's the hookup's better in grass.
Sure.
And this is the deal to think about, regardless of water clarity. If my bait goes over in that grass, and I paint my braid, regardless of whatever color you like, green, brown, red, whatever. But the deal is, it would be hard for me to believe that fish can distinguish between my line and a stem of grass. So I don't really worry about the fish seeing my line.
So you do color your braid, or you don't?
Yeah, I always color mine. Yeah, I like it. Depending on water clarity and the color of the grass, I color however whatever looks the best.
Gotcha. You got any more, JP?
Do you ever use scent on your jigs? Are you a big scent guy?
I do. I typically just use the coffee scent that Striking puts out, which is, our rodents, our spray sauce. Pretty much our whole plastic line, is scented that way, and we sell the scent, in an aerosol can. And but typically, the only time I really use scent is if it's a group of fish I fish for a lot, or the water's cold. I do feel like there are certain situations when that's having some scent on there will finish a bite. Get that fish to finish. You look and he'll bite. But it's typically under bad conditions. And what I mean by that, either extremely cold, maybe it can be extremely hot or high fishing pressure. But I truly believe that there are times when scent will get you one or two more bites. Now, do I think it's going to get you 20? No. But it might get just a fish or two more to finish the deal, which, in our business, it's always your one bite good or one bite bad. So, one bite really makes a difference.
There it is. Hey, I've seen a trend lately, Greg, that reminds me of something you were doing years ago. In fact, I think you won a derby doing this. And a lot of people are switching back to flipping with no weight or very light weights. Now, I remember you won a derby pitching an Ocho or something like that way back.
Here. Yeah, I won here. Right.
Yeah, right there.
The last time we were here. Doing that. Yeah. The deal is typically that's a big deal when the water's extremely shallow, But, I'll be honest with you, anytime, realistically I'm fishing 3 foot or less, I don't use a big weight. If those fish are extremely shallow, it's just a lot easier to slip that bait in there on them. And, I don't know. I really, even a quarter ounce, if you're fishing, less than 3 foot, it can be a pretty heavy weight. The deal is when you're not dealing with much water over that fish's head, you like to, really make that bait natural. It's not like a fish that's suspended out there in 5 foot and you want that bait to blow by and make him bite.
Right.
You don't want to, ease up there in 2 foot of water and drop a one out. Now with that being said, now if you're talking about a mat, but I'm talking about, isolated cover boat docks.
Sure.
Lay downs, that type of stuff. It's hard to slip that big weighted bait in there. And that lightweight, but it's just a real natural, when it touches the surface, makes no splash, and it just has a real natural fall. And I know everybody out there, that has fished has seen this. You'll see a fish, and you'll pitch to it, and they run off. And, you know, you have to kind of think about that when that fish is that shallow, that you want to slip that bait on them. And it's hard to slip a heavy-weighted bait in there unless you're going through cover, you know, unless it's something matted. But we're not talking about that situation. We're just talking about a fish that's, you know, safe. It's the reason if you're, you know, skipping boat docks, you know, wacky worm's hard to beat.
Right.
Because it's just that worm skipping across the surface is something they're used to seeing. I mean, you know, how many times you're fishing down a bank, you see little glass minnows or, you know, some type of shiner skipping on the surface. And it's just a real natural presentation. And, you know, I just think that, you know, definitely when you're shallow like that, you know, get you some, definitely get you some more bites just because you're not spooking the fish on the presentation of your cast.
There it is. There it is. Now, final question of the night here, Greg. And again, it's about flipping. Now, if you could pick one fish that you would like to catch flipping, one species of fish, of course, besides a bass, and you had a chance to jack one on a flip stick, what species of fish would that be?
You know, honestly, it would have to be a great white.
There it is, a great white.
Could you imagine diving over in a brush pile and all of a sudden a 3,000-pound great white gets engulfed that hack at that good? I'm bringing the wood. I'm just going to tell you. I'm flatlining. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
Jump off the front deck and just bring everything I got.
Yeah, Greg Hackney live from the mouth of the great white shark right here on the Bass Buzz segment of Straight Gas Outdoor Cartoon Television. Greg, any final words for your fans and the viewers out there, your sponsors, whatever you got? Here's your last shot.
No, I just appreciate everybody. You know, I just appreciate everybody out there. And, you know, the support, you know, that we have, it really keeps us going. You know, it really does.
Awesome.
From the home level, you know, it's so cool going all these places we go. And, you know, I've been in the fishing for a long time. And it's funny. I truly believe that our sport has the best fans. I've always thought that. But honestly, I think the sport of bass fishing, not just professional bass fishing in general, whether it's the high school, the college level, you know, the grassroots deal of it all, you know, the sport of bass fishing has grown more in the last couple of years. And whether it's social media, you know, the Bass Life, whatever it may be, Major League Fishing, it's just, you know, our sport, honestly, it's incredible right now. You know, it's sure just, there's more people out there enjoying it. I mean, here on this lake, you know, my marshal today was talking about, you know, they have high school tournaments here that have 400 teams.
It's crazy.
Let me tell you, when I was in high school, it was that was unheard of. If somebody would have told me they had a high school tournament that had 400 teams in it, I was like, there's no way. That's not even possible. So I just want to, you know, really just thank everybody out there. And, you know, our lakes are good. Let's just keep catching them.
There it is. Hey, now one more thing. I lied to you. I got one more question for you now. So let's say that, you know, like certain anglers have slogans or mottos, you know, like Ike has never give up. Like what would be your slogan, Greg? What would be your motto?
It's pretty simple. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Greg Hackney, he is what he is, and he's a bassin' badass. And we thank you so much, dude, for coming on the show again. Always appreciate your support.
I appreciate it. I hope we do this for a long time to come.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. We've been at this for a while, back since my Bass Buzz radio days.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, I mean, right there from St. Clair all the way up to the present. And last year, record-breaking, you come on the show the night at Texoma and you win the Derby.
You know what? I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Let's hope history repeats itself. Greg Hackney, thank you once again, man. We appreciate it. Knock him out tomorrow, dude.
Okay, thank you.
Later.
I'll talk to you later.
Later. That's Greg Hackney, Bassmaster Elite Series Pro. True pro right there. I'm Pat Renwick. This is JP High. Yo. We're coming back. Put the power poles down. We have FLW superstar Scott Canterbury coming up next.
I'm John DeMay with M Jigs. Today, I'd like to share with you a little bit about a couple products that we have in our lineup that we're really excited about. The first product I'd like to talk to you about today is the Joe Football Head Jig. Right out of the package, you'll notice that our football head jig is different than most on the market. What makes our jigs different is the quality of components. Let's start with the hook. These hooks are custom made for us in Japan. 90-degree bend, black nickel hooks, razor sharp, JDM quality. All of our Joe Football Head jigs have living rubber skirts. They're hand tied with copper wire to ensure that they stay affixed, and it also helps them to flare while they're in the water. We powder paint and heat cure each jig to ensure that the paint stays on your jig even when you're fishing rock. Another feature that separates our jig from other jigs on the market is the screw lock keeper. The screw lock keeper does a couple things for you. Not only does it keep your bait affixed, it'll save you money on soft plastics that pull off with standard barb keepers. The second product I'd like to talk to you about is our hybrid flip and swim jig. We also have a custom hook in our flip and swim jig. It's a 4/0 30-degree bend black nickel hook. It has the same durable paint, the same great keeper, and a hand-tied silicone skirt to complete it. So if you're looking for a premium product that's going to give you an edge over your competition, look us up at demjigs.com.
Stank's Bait Company has been hand pouring and injecting soft plastic baits since 2009. Each bait is hand poured with you in mind, and each bait is injected with fish catching juice. They've got over 20 baits to choose from. And Stank's Bait gives you unparalleled custom colors, and they'll match the hatch of your local lake forage. Plus, they feature soft plastic custom airbrushing, and now they offer their services to you and your soft baits. So pretty you'll want to frame it. But don't, because the fish aren't going to see it on your wall, and they're not going to smell it till you get it in the water. You can find them online at stanksbaitco.com or at Tackle Warehouse, Fisherman's Central, Sportsman's Direct, and DNR Sports. Stank's Baits. Get 'em.
The swim jig technique is one of the most successful ways to put fish in the boat. Time in and time out, Brovani Baits swim jigs are just the right tool for the job. Beaming with quality, the Brovani swim jigs come in a myriad of colors, feature the best premium hooks and solid trailer keepers to give you, the serious bass angler, the confidence you need to accomplish your goal of putting more fish in the boat. So go to BrovaniBaits.com and start climbing the ladder to swim jig success.
PH Custom Lures by Phil Hunter, quickly becoming the most sought-after custom balsa baits in the industry, from the Little Hunter to the Squeaky P. These baits are pure quality, handcrafted, hand-carved, and hand-painted. But most importantly, they flat-out catch fish. PH Custom Lures has a bait for any situation in a magnitude of colors. Check out the Old School, Straighter, and PH Custom series at phcustomlures.com. That's phcustomlures.com. Welcome back to Stray Cats Outdoor Cartoon Television. I am your host, Pat Renwick. This is JP High, co-piloting for Ryan Popcorn Whitaker tonight, and we're pretty happy to bring you from West Wisconsin right now. He's getting ready for the big lacrosse event. Ladies and gentlemen, FLW Tour Pro Scott Canterbury. Yeah! Woo! Give me an internet high five.
Got a big crowd on the side.
Internet high five. Boom. Yeah. That's how we do it. That's how we do it here. Hey, what's going, dude? You're ready for a big derby, right? I mean, you got water going like this, and all. What the heck?
It's been falling for a couple of days, but it's coming up now. We've had some rain today, and getting more right now. It's coming. It's going to be on the rise for sure.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Now, the most
seems like we've gotten used to it this year with FLW. The last tournament it came up 14 feet in 8 days, so we're sort of getting used to that.
That is nuts. That is nuts. Hey, most important question of the night. I'm going to kick it off right here. Have you ever taken off and tried to get on plane with your power poles down?
I have, but several times, not on purpose. Maybe once on purpose, but I've done it a couple of times without it being on purpose.
And then what do you think in your head when you do that? Like, what is Scott Canterbury thinking? Like, what's
you know? I mean, I've done it on purpose, just testing them out. Those power poles are amazing. You know, they're so strong and durable. It shows. They've got videos of airboats going across land with them down, and then they raise right back up and go back down. But, you know, I've done it on accident with them halfway down or something. You can't get out, can't get on plane, or it takes you forever to get on plane. It doesn't take long to figure out what the problem is, that's for sure.
You're like, what's wrong?
That's right. That's right.
The poles are down.
Yeah.
Knuckleheads.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to figure that out, that's for sure.
How you feeling about this lacrosse derby?
You know, I mean, I'm excited about it. Optimistic, I guess, a little bit. I've caught some. There's a ton of fish in the river for sure, but catching, you know, those 3-pounders has been really hard on me this week. I haven't caught many 3-pounders. I've only caught 1 or 2 3-pounders all week of practice. So, but I know, you know, all it takes is 1 or 2 good bites, and that'll propel you way up here. You're only looking for. I mean, I'm thinking, you know, that 14 or 15 pounds a day is going to be really, really strong. 16 pounds a day, I think, may win the whole tournament, but I may miss it too. You know, it may take 17 or 18, but if I had 16 a day, I would be super stoked for sure.
Nice. Hey, have you guys been there before?
FLW, the tour has never been here. I fished a Costa event, a Northern Costa or a Central Costa that came up here a few years back. I made a trip. My dad went with me. We made a trip like around the country. I went and fished the U.S. Open at Lake Mead.
Wow.
Drove for 2.5 days to Lake Mead and then left there and drove straight up here for this event. So I made a big, long trip for 3 weeks, and we had a good time.
Did you catch them then?
I did. I think I finished 13th in the U.S. Open. Only time I'd ever fished it, and finished 12th up here at La Crosse. But it was in the fall. It was a little bit different. I love fishing in the fall.
Gotcha. You're a shallow water guy, right? Is that a correct statement to make?
That's how I grew up fishing. Yeah, I mean, I love fishing deep now. I mean, I was sort of got addicted to it 6 years ago, and I've probably spent more time the last 3 or 4 years, maybe 4 years out deep than I did shallow. But my roots, get back to my roots, I mean, it's shallow. I mean, that's where I need to go. I can go out and practice for a tournament for 2.5 days out deep and spend the whole tournament shallow if I don't find something. So, yes, I feel more comfortable shallow. I'm very you know, that's what I grew up doing, and just feel comfortable with a flipping stick in my hand and some heavy line.
I'm with you, dude. And our first guest, Greg Hackney, he's certainly that way.
Yes, sir. Hackney he's one of the best in the world at everything, but he's super, super impressive when it gets on that shallow bite, especially if he gets on a jig bite or a frog bite, something like that. He's going to be right there to win the tournament every time. I mean, he's a stick out there, that's for sure.
He just told us his goal in life is to stick a great white shark on a flip stick.
That would be a good goal. I mean, he sets his goals high. Yeah, that's for sure.
Hey, let's go deep water again. Let's get back now.
I've always said, set your goals high. If you achieve them, you didn't set them high enough. So set your goals high and work for them. You know, I try to tell young guys, college and high school fishermen, you know, whatever they have passion for, chase after it. Don't worry about the money. If you have passion and you work hard, the money will come.
Money grows on trees.
No, it doesn't grow on trees.
Oh.
That's for sure. It's hard to get it, but
these
if
guys
you have a lot
lied
of
to me.
passion for whatever you do, you can make money.
Hey, let's. Speaking of making money, you made a few bucks in your day here. You're 1.2 million, I think, is where you're at when I looked at your stats, and you won some money at an event fishing deep. And that's why I kind of started to ask you about the deep water deal. And you were, if I remember right, man, you were fishing a pretty unique rig. And it was kind of like a double drop shot rig. right?
Yeah.
Well, am I remembering this correct?
That's right. Yeah, that was the Forest Wood Cup. I finished second twice in that event. And
What
one
the
time
hell?
I did that on a double drop shot. Sure did.
Tell me about that double drop shot before we get into these second places.
I mean, it was nobody had done that really that I know of, and I was trying to rig it up. I mean, I tied 2 hooks on and was trying different baits. I started out just trying to see what bait they would bite the best.
Okay.
Is all I was trying to do during practice. Well, if you hook 2 at a time, they would break you off a lot of times if they pulled against each other. So, I mean, figuring out a way to do that, I used some bobber stoppers and a swivel. Bobber stopper, your hook just slides through your line, then a swivel, and then your last one. That way, if you hook 2 at a time, the front hook would actually run up and down your line, and they couldn't pull against each other and break you off. And that was a little bit of ingenuity over like the double fluke rig. That's the way people rig a double fluke rig, so it can run up and down your line and it doesn't break you off. So I took that and then applied it to that drop shot. And, as I was trying to figure out which bait they would bite, a lot of times they would bite the higher one up if it was a bigger brush pile, the one that was on top of the brush pile, not the one that was down in the middle or on the bottom. So it started out as a trial deal just to try to find out what bait they would bite, and it ended up being the deal. I could go behind people and catch fish that just wasn't attracted, or they were used to seeing that one bait come in there, and they was not as attracted to it as they were the double drop shot like I was doing.
Gotcha. No,
that hadn't been used again.
You haven't brought it out since, huh?
I haven't brought it out again.
I still don't understand, Scott. I mean, it's like, okay, so you standard drop shot, got your weight on the bottom, right?
That's correct.
And then no polymer knot or whatever you're tying to. How are you rigging it? I don't get it.
Well, the first hook up from the weight, would be like 12 or 14 inches up. Standard polymer knot. Up another 2 feet or so or 3 feet, ever how high I wanted my other hook. Say I wanted one 5 feet up. That was a deal, figuring out how high up to put one. If I wanted one 5 foot up, I would go up another 4 feet above that hook and tie a swivel. All right. On my main line, I would put a bobber stopper on and then just run the main line through the eye of the hook facing up, push the bobber stopper down, holding that hook against the swivel.
Gotcha.
Then if you hooked a fish, he could just push the bobber stopper up and down. If you didn't have that bobber stopper, your top bait would just would stay up there on top of the water or 20 foot up, and it wouldn't go down with your weight.
Gotcha. Oh, that makes perfect sense. That's something we got to try, dragging for smallies on St. Clair.
It'll work. You get 2 at a time. It'll be a lot of fun with those smallies.
Hey, you brought up the second places, not me. And
that's okay.
And
I'm Mr. Second Place for a long time.
you and Aaron. You and Aaron Martins.
Hey, that's a good company to be involved with if you're in bass fishing for sure.
No doubt about it, man. Now, you're doing really well as far as points right now on the tour, right? What are you? You're in second place right now, right?
Second place right now.
Here's the irony of it. You're in second place right now, Scott. And I recall watching a video that, for lack of a better term, was heart-wrenching. Okay, and I think it was. I
know where you're going with that one.
I think it's from where you're about to go this year.
We're going back.
You're going back. Is redemption on Scott Canterbury's brain or what?
Everybody asks that, and I'm sure it's going to be totally different when we go back. What's on Scott Canterbury's brain right now is lacrosse.
Okay.
Get past this one, and then it'll be Potomac, and then I'll be worried about the Forest Wood Cup there at Lake Murray. I try not to think about that one until the season's over. I've had a great year. I'm on my way to it. But right now we want to think about lacrosse, then Potomac, then we'll go fish the Lake Murray FLW.
And that's a great answer for a professional bass fisherman fishing in the moment. But you cannot tell me that is not in your noodle there. It's not in your brain somewhere.
Well, it wasn't until you said something. But I have thought about it a few times in the past. And this year, and I do want redemption there, but there again we'll have 45 or 50 of the best anglers in the world you got to beat, and this fishing's going to be different. Not saying, you're going to have to figure them out that week. I figured them out. Everybody's seen that video of me losing the winning fish and everything. I figured those fish out at about 11 o'clock the second day of the tournament. I didn't figure them out there in practice, or I would have won the tournament. I weighed in 4 fish the first day. That was just as bad as losing that one. If I'd have had one keeper, I'd have won the tournament by 1.5 pounds, easy.
Yeah, I mean, that's an overlooked point right there, because I don't remember that, but I certainly remember the loss.
Right. I mean, they don't show all that. And who else finished 21st that didn't even make the cut and lost a 4-pounder that would have put them in 12th, and they would have. I was in 17th, I think, going into day 3 or something. So,
right.
You know, there's a lot of moments. It's just when you get that close, it hurts a lot more. It hurts every day. It'll hurt to day 1 tomorrow. Somebody could lose one tomorrow that may eventually end up costing them this tournament, and nobody's going to see it because it's not at 12:30 on the final day of the tournament with TV cameras rolling.
Yeah, it was, dude. It was heart wrenching. I mean, I'm not going to kid you. I mean, it really was.
It was definitely heart wrenching for me. It's one of those things that happens, and as soon as it happened, I knew it was the fish that would have won the tournament. You know, I mean, it took me about a minute or 45 seconds or something to get over it and get back to fishing, but I knew the second that happened in my heart that was the one that would have won the tournament.
Yeah. Hey, but you here you are now. And you're doing well, dude. You're doing well. Commendable.
I appreciate it.
Totally commendable, man. I want to ask you a couple questions about fishing brim beds, okay? Because it's one of my favorite ways to fish. I mean, everybody, you know, okay, the bass are spawning. That's awesome, but man, you catch some really good ones fishing around them brim beds, and you're a fan of that, aren't you?
I am. I love fishing. If they're big enough if they're eating brim, they're big enough that you need to be targeting them. That's for sure.
Now, teach me something about fishing brim beds. Teach the audience, teach your fans a little something.
You know, I mean, there's a lot goes into that fish. You know, on Clearwater lakes, a lot of that practicing is just spent covering as much water as you can and looking to see those bass. You don't necessarily want to catch them when you're practicing. You want to see them. You want to see what bass are hanging around what brim bed. And then, you know, I mean, if there's 2 4-pounders hanging around a brim bed in the back of a pocket, they're there for a reason. They're there because there's food there. You slip in during the tournament and make a longer cast before they see you or spook or anything, and the chances are pretty good that you're going to get a bite off of one of those fish. Whether you catch it or not, it's different. But, you know, there's a lot of different techniques we use. I mean, I love swimming a jig. I mean, I love swimming a jig. That's one thing that I've always done. And I mean, I like swimming a jig on brim beds. That's one way to get them to bite. The topwater deal is probably the most popular, the prop baits.
Sure.
Or, you know, I like fishing a Canterbury Pro Buzz from Dirty Jigs Tackle with some sort of plastic on it, you know, and that's the bigger profile plastics that float. It just gives off a bigger profile, which is a brim profile, and that buzz bait coming over their head gets a lot of reaction bites, and that's my favorite way to fish brim beds is the buzz bait. If you got to slow down and fish a prop bait, I'll do it, but I'd much rather cover as much water as I can with a buzz bait doing that.
Sure. And what are you throwing, like a horny toad type bait on that?
Yeah,
buzz
I mean,
bait,
you know, I came out with a bait for Bruiser a while back when I was with them. And it was more of a brim profile, had one tail on it. And it's just like a horny toad, but a horny toad has 2 feet. I came out with one single tail in the middle, and it looked more like a brim than a horny toad did. But a horny toad works really good. It's probably the most popular on there. I've thrown a lot of different baits on it. I mean, I throw a lot of swim baits on it. I throw a bunch of swim baits, a bunch of plastics as far as horny toads or toad-style baits, and then the Thrasher, I throw it a lot too still.
What's your number one trailer to throw on the back of your swim jig when you're targeting the brim bed bass?
You know, I mean, my number one trailer is a kick and bee chunk, or it's just a mini kick and bee from NetBait. That's what I use a lot now. I like a green pumpkin one, and I dip the tip chartreuse just because of those brim.
Gotcha.
That's my number one trailer if I'm doing that. If I'm not using that, I'm using a pocket chunk most of the time.
Okay. And are you pretty much burning that swim jig when you're fishing the brim beds? I know you got to let the bass tell you. But.
Yeah. You don't want them to get a very, very good look at it, but you know, I don't necessarily burn it. I always throw my swim jig on a 6 3-1 instead of a 7s and 8s and stuff. The high speed reels I use, and I mean, I just fish it just I don't burn it out of there, but I do try to get some reaction bites.
Gotcha. Do you ever do that little?
It's day to day. I mean, it's day to day. If they're super aggressive, I mean, then you try to burn it. But if they're not, you sort of swim it a little bit deeper.
Gotcha. Do you ever do that little flick with that little tap with the rod tip and make that skirt flare out?
That's how we swim a jig in Alabama. We work it a lot.
Yeah,
we don't do the. There's so many different ways to swim a jig, and it's gotten so popular. We're popping our rod all the way in. That doesn't work everywhere. It doesn't work as good up in the north as it does in the south. But, we're popping our rod, keeping slack in the line, making your jig hop as it comes through the water, giving it some action. In the north, the Tom Mansour is probably the most popular swim jigger ever. And, he's that cast and just wind it back in. That's a deal that I really had to work on the past 3 or 4 years because I'd never done that. But that catches them really good, too. But, I mean, I like to give my jig some action.
Okay, so constantly working it. That's an Alabama thing.
Constantly working it. If you get one following it, I'll kill it and let it go down to the bottom, hop it up real hard. A lot of times that'll give them a bite. You just got to figure out what mood the fish are in each day.
Yeah, total gear shift here. Is it true that Jay Ellis is a gourmet cook?
He's far from a gourmet cook. I can get him back in here in a minute. He's far from a gourmet cook. He calls me the grill master. I love cooking. That's one of my other passions. I love cooking and tailgating for football games and cooking all the meat for everybody. So
nice.
No, he'll let you know he's not the gourmet cook around here.
Bring Jay in. Let him make a special guest appearance.
Jay, come over. Here he comes.
Is he eating beef jerky?
Does Jay?
Is he eating it now? Is that what he's doing?
No, I doubt he's eating. We just got back from eating. He shouldn't be eating now. We rent a house just about everywhere we go, and we let this one slip up on us, and we're in a motel, separate rooms. But he's coming over.
All right,
we're next to each other.
We love cameos. We love cameos here on this show. Special guest stars, we like to call them. Yeah, we had Luke Duncan pop in on Wesley Strader the other day, and we sang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we sang Freebird together. It was pretty good.
That's right. They wanted to ask you. They asked me if you was the gourmet chef.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Jay Ellis.
That's what I told him.
Jay Ellis, right here. Yeah. Where's our studio audience for Jay? Yeah.
Listen to him yelling for you.
That's it. They love you, Jay. Hey, good to see you, man. I don't know if you remember, you used to do my Bass Buzz radio show way back.
I've done it, a few times.
Yep, that was you. How's
it going?
It's going good, man. It's good to see you. You're looking great, Jay.
Hey, Matt. Good to see you too, Pat.
Yeah, excellent, man.
You got lost a little more hair than you had last time.
Yeah. It's coming around. I ain't.
You want me to send him back to his room?
Go to your room, Jay. You've been a bad boy. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Ellis making a special cameo.
Good.
That's awesome. Hey, you still sponsored by Bagley?
I am. I've really enjoyed working with them. We got a great pro staff, and some guys are working. We're working with the lure designers right now, hopefully be coming out really soon with a lot of new lures that are going to be exciting and really interesting into the industry here.
And I mean, Bagley lures are classics. Probably, I think one of their slogans was "World's Most Treasured Lure" at one time.
That's right. We should have kept Jay in here. He could tell you more about Bagley, the old school Bagley crankbaits than I can. I've got some of the really old ones, the old B flats and everything that, just always been killers. The Killer B3, the whole Killer series has been great. And Bagley's been around for a long time, and they're going to make a push back now, coming back into it with the into that balsa market. They can own that.
Yeah, I mean, now who actually owns Bagley now?
Well, I deal with Don Holstrand and some guys. And,
okay.
They've got the lure designers. Jarmo Rapala is the lure designer.
That's
the
what I was.
Famous lure designer. He's coming over and he's really helping us out, and we're working together, getting some new baits out on the market. Gotcha.
Yeah, the Rapala guy is helping design them, right? That's what
he is.
Okay.
He's working. We're working together on some stuff, and he knows how to get what. All we got to do is tell him what action we're trying to get, and he can get it.
So can you get him to hunt? I mean, that's the deal, right?
That's the deal. Well, the hunting thing, people don't want so much hunting no more. They want the tracking now instead of the hunting. The old school wiggle warts and all that are still always be a player, but there's a lot of baits now. People want to just attract straight, even if you burn it, instead of that hunting. It just depends on what style of bait you're after, if you want it to hunt or not. Do you want it to dig and come straight, or do you want it to hunt? It's all about depth that you're trying to reach for those fish.
In what situation would you prefer a hunting crankbait over one that pulls true?
I like to hunt in colder water or dirtier water.
Okay.
More than if you get cleaner water, I want it to pull true. That hunting, if it's cold or dirty, that hunting action will really it gets you more bites. Put it that way. If you're in that clear water, or the fish are really feeding up, it's warm and stuff, you don't necessarily need that hunting action that you do as far as you want a bait to run true and mimic more of a bait fish.
Gotcha.
That's a good question.
That hunting action is crawfish, imitators, and stuff like that. Whereas if they're dead on bait fish, you want to swim a straight action.
Got it.
Light wiggle.
That was knowledge right there.
Yeah.
That was knowledge.
I learned a whole bunch.
You just got to figure out what kind of forage the fish are on. The strongest, they'll always eat a crawfish or they'll always eat a bait fish. But what are they really feeding on this week is what you got to know.
Gotcha. In the moment, again, just like you.
There you go.
Right
in
there.
the moment.
Right there. Hey, I read somewhere that you fish upwards. Or let me backtrack. In order to be good at a profession, most people put in, let's say, a typical work week is 40 hours, right? For a typical standard American.
All right.
Okay. And to excel at an occupation, you must put in more hours.
Okay.
Are you with me?
I'm with you.
How many hours a week do you think you fish, Scott?
On pretty much an average week, if I fish 5 days, I mean, that's an average week. If I fish 5 days, I'm going to fish probably 65 to 70 hours.
That's outstanding.
I mean, I fished 3 days this week, and I fished probably 15 hours a day. So,
are you
that's
one
45 hours already this week?
You're there. You're on OT, man. You're getting paid
I'm
double.
on OT now. I need to get paid some OT this week.
When I texted with you last night, it was well past dark here, and you're not too far from us, and you were just getting off the water. I mean,
yeah.
You're that guy, right? You're that guy.
I was the last one out yesterday, but that necessarily wasn't by choice.
Okay.
This Mississippi River is it's the biggest river in North America, but it also is not the deepest river in North America. I was stuck for about 25 or 30 minutes yesterday evening and had to get out and push, and it was a bad evening for the last 25 or 30 minutes of light. But it's sometimes that's all worth it. I know where not to go now.
Wow. How'd you get out?
Oh, I pushed. You just get out in the water and go to pushing and picking up and pushing. And once I got it off it was just on a sandbar. It's nothing. Just that the current is so strong on the Mississippi River, it moves those sandbars around, pushes the silt around, it changes. And I just got up on a sandbar a little too far and thought I could go across it where I should have backed up, but ended up having to push, 25 yards, 30 yards to get across it.
Man,
that's pretty normal up there.
Yeah.
It's been normal for me this week.
Hey, Scott, what do you feel about tour jumpers? There's a lot of guys from FLW that go over to fish the elites. Okay, now, I mean, every angler, no matter what
we've been talking about this today already.
Okay. Now, I know everybody wants to fish the Bassmaster Classic. Any young bass fisherman's dream is to someday fish the Bassmaster Classic. Let's take that out of the equation because that's an opportunity anybody would take. But what I'm noticing, and correct me if I'm wrong or school me here, a lot of guys that maybe jump over to the BASS side are not necessarily making as much money as they were on the FLW tour.
They're not making as much money off of tournament winnings. A lot of people think it's more attractive over there. They're more attracted to that bass side. They want to be the glitz and glamour. They're just not in it to make a living. They're not in, I mean, some people are, and they go over there, and that's great. I hate to see them leave. You know, we've had some great guys. I mean, some great fishermen. Uh, you can go back and look over the years. I mean, I was good friends with Randall Tharp, and then you got Brent Ayler, and you got Perosnik, Justin Lucas, and Wheeler, and Stetson Blaylock, and that list goes on and on and on. And everybody, I mean, I got buddies. They said, man, it's got to be easier over there to get a check now. If you don't catch the fish, it doesn't matter. Somebody's going to take their place and catch fish. You got to catch fish. I don't care which side you're on. You hate to see those guys leave just because they take their fans with them. The fans that were watching you as well as them, they take them with them, and you can't be in two places at once, you know. And, not necessarily fish both circuits or both tours at one time, or, I would love to fish the Classic, and I fish the Opens for that opportunity to go fish the Bassmasters Classic. But my investment is in FLW. It's like a family over here. We've got a lot of good guys. We've got you look at number one in the world, we've got some of the best fishermen in the world. You got Brian Thrift, and you got the GOAT Andy Morgan. You got Cody Meyer, Scott Martin, who's won more tournaments than anybody in FLW, I think, now. I mean, Mark Rose is one of the best there is, the best ledge fisherman out there, and he's proved that he can win shallow, he can win deep. It doesn't really matter. He's just a great fisherman, and we've got great guys. We're like a family over here. I mean, Jay Yellis, one of the legends, and I've been so blessed to room with him since I started. I mean, we were friends before I started, and just it's been a dream come true for me to do this and to do it with FLW. It's just been what I like doing, and I have no intentions of leaving. I do want to fish the Classic before I retire or whatever happens. Before I'm off the earth, I do want to fish the Bassmaster Classic, and I want to do that pretty bad. But I don't know. There's not an answer for why guys are leaving, and there's not a perfect answer for everybody. There's different answers for each and every one of them, I'm sure.
And was that similar to the conversation that you guys were having earlier? Was it that along the lines?
It was. I mean, we've talked about it a lot, and I mean, a lot of those guys, it's a professional sport. It's a professional organization. FLW is it's just like the elites. I mean, it's the exact same thing. With the guy, we've had 15 guys of our best guys. I mean, that I've competed against, and some of them I grew up watching and been able to compete against them for years. And some of the best fishermen we have went over there, and they're doing really well over there, just like they did over here. And so, I mean, what it's done is made their field probably a little bit lean to that stiffer side, maybe the top. If you went ahead and said the top 60 guys against the top 60 guys, if you did top 10 on top 10, it's even playing field. It don't matter what, I don't think. But if you say top 60 against top 60, theirs is probably a little bit stronger right now. Maybe it'll teeter back this way. It's just it's went back and forth both ways over the years, and I've seen it do it. The guys that want to be over there have all different reasons. Some of them didn't enjoy fishing a professional tournament with a co-angler in the boat. Some of them didn't enjoy that.
Right.
I mean, some guys really like having co-anglers, somebody to talk to. But they have a marshal. That's somebody to talk to. But those co-anglers are out here to learn, and, it just depends. I mean, we never know. FLW may go that way one day. Nobody knows.
Right. And I think that someday there should be a big, like if you ever read comic books as a kid, you got like Marvel Comics and DC Comics. You should have a big Clash of the Titans, like
we could do that.
FLW versus BASS. That would be outstanding draw. It would bring millions of dollars in revenue to the bass fishing industry.
It definitely would. I think it was Ultimate Match Fishing did that for a while, but that was before a bunch of our guys left, and I think it was called Beat the Elites is what all the FLW guys called it.
Nice.
And it worked out that way pretty much.
We call it the Stray Cast Clash of the Titans, and I'm working on. I'm looking for funding.
We can do that.
I'm looking for funding.
We need to get that tournament up. I'd be all in for that tournament.
Hey man, anything going on here, JP, from Scott's fans on the Facebook Live?
We got some questions about when you were on. What's that show? Circuit Breaker.
Circuit Breaker. Yeah.
They want to know how many fish you caught before you locked through on Toho.
I had a limit. One day that everybody was there watching me catch them. I didn't catch but 2 because everybody got in front of me and started catching them. I should have waited till everybody locked because nobody had intentions of locking it. I mean, nobody had intentions of fishing until I went to catching them. And then everybody cut in front of me, so I went ahead and locked down. It was a little spot there was loaded there that year. I ended up losing that tournament by 11 ounces to JT Kinney, who was a teammate of mine at that time. And I had a spot there that I could usually catch a limit on, catch pretty good bag. Then I'd lock through, and I always got my bigger fish down there. So I went ahead and went after I got those 2 the day I was on that circuit breaker.
We got Lopez Fishing is wondering, when the fishing gets tough, what's the one bait you reach for that you know you'll get a bite?
It depends on what kind of forage. I mean, I've got to where I love cranking. I used to never crank, ever. When I went professional, I probably had 3 plain old boxes of crankbaits, and that included all sizes. Now I've got 4 of just the shallow runners. So I like fishing, crankbaits a lot, but it's going to go back to my roots and how I grew up fishing. If I had one bait and one bait only, it would be probably a 1/2 ounce jig. And that's just because it's so versatile of a lure. You can swim it, you can fish it on the bottom, you can cast it out deep. There's so many different things you can do with a jig, and that's the way, and you can flip. That's my go-to deal, is to put a jig in my hand and go cover water, get in the thickest cover I can find and just fish.
Nice. World's most versatile lure, the jig.
Yeah, we asked that question a lot, jig. And that's like the number one.
Everybody throws a jig. It's just and again, I think it's one of those unintimidating lures to the bass, is why they are so they don't get conditioned by it.
Yeah, how come they're not?
It is. Yet? It definitely is. And it's all about matching, colors of the skirt. You can change all that. You can change a jig so much just by changing the chunk you put on it. You can change it by the color of the skirt, just adding a little bit of dye here and there. There's so many different things you can do with a jig. It's just so versatile. And there's a lot of baits that are versatile, but they don't produce like a jig does.
Time and time again. Scott,
get yourself a Canterbury flipping jig from Dirty Jigs Tackle would be the number 1 versatile bait.
There it is. DirtyJigsTackle.com. Is that what you're trying to say?
That is a Scott Canterbury flipping jig there.
Say it one more time.
Yeah, I need to say it a lot more times. Scott Canterbury flipping jig from DirtyJigsTackle.com.
There it is. Hey, I'm getting the cue here. We're almost out of time, Scott. Any final words for your fans or your your sponsors? Anything?
It's everything. I'm sure my family's watching and will be seeing them. I got a couple things to do next week, and I'll be home. But my fans, I'm so humbled and honored that they want to be my fans. It's pretty amazing to me. I appreciate everything, all the support they all give me. And, it's an old cliche. Everybody says we couldn't do it without our sponsors. But really and truly, I couldn't be out here without the sponsors I have and the support they give me. Everybody that's ever helped me, for sure. Couldn't be out here without them.
Awesome. And best of luck to you on lacrosse and the upcoming derbies and of course, Redemption on Lake Marine. We'll see you. We'll be there doing.
We'll call it the Redemption story after it's over. Hopefully,
the Redemption song. We'll see you there. We'll be there at the Cup,
sounds
man.
Good. I've enjoyed it. Appreciate your opportunity. Appreciate y'all getting with me.
And thank you so much for the support. We truly appreciate it, man.
No problem. Anytime.
All right. Knock him out tomorrow. That's Scott Canterbury, FLW Tour Pro, coming at us live from La Crosse, Wisconsin. Hey, put the power poles down. Don't go nowhere, because when we get back, it's a special guest star coming to us from the swamps of Jersey. Who could this be? Who could this be from the swamps of Jersey? Coming at us live. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
How did you change your body? Just really working out?
Mm-hmm.
Could you take...
I did martial arts a lot and full contact karate and weights.
Could anybody do that? Could you take these to the...
Come on, say what you really think, huh?
Could you change anybody's body with enough time? Seriously?
Sure, yeah, definitely. Yeah. It just takes determination, hard work, and an instructor. And,
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, bass fishing personality from the swamps of Jersey, this is the man you refer to as Brian the Carpenter. Yeah! Hey, what's up, Brian?
Hey.
I know you. You used to work at All American Burger.
What's going on, man?
Is that your Christmas tree?
Yeah, we decided to go 24/7 this year, man.
That's all right. I mean, you don't have to, you just got it set up and ready to go.
Yeah, man. That's how we roll. It's Jersey.
What do you
know
got
about
there?
that, Pat?
Ooh, it's old school pistol grip, dude.
That's right.
Yeah, I like that. What is that? What is that combo, dude?
It's actually a Loomis. I don't know. I think I got it at like a yard sale or whatever, but dude, the old pistol grip. Remember that shit?
Of course I do, man. It's outstanding. What's that reel? I can't see it up close. What?
It's an Abu. It's some beat up reel I got from Ike, so it's
nice.
I get like his 2-3-year-old reels all whooped up.
But the pistol grip is the deal, man. You got to get yourself like a blue and chartreuse single copper blade spinnerbait and just do like little underhand Jimmy Houston casts.
Yes. I remember back in the day, back in our club day, fishing, with Mike, and Stormtrooper and, the other guys that we started the club with, throwing a double willow 1/2 ounce Stanley wedge.
Yeah.
On a pistol grip.
Yeah, dude.
Destroyed my wrists. You know what I mean? It's good for skipping docks, but the open water with all that resistance wears you out, man.
Dude, and remember like the footage of Larry Nixon fishing that Mega Bucks tournament or whatever in Florida? The classic Bassmaster opener for years where he sets up on that with that pistol grip rod, dude. It's like it's like his wrist just torqued in an opposite direction. He became like one of those contortionists, Dude,
they were horrible for your wrists.
Did you
I love it for topwater though, man.
Yeah, it's something else. I mean, and we talked with Hackney a little bit about rear grips of rod lengths. Did that sound?
I caught the tail end of that.
Did that sound weird when I just said rear grip of rod length?
I remember he said 9 inches, so that caught my attention.
Yeah. Hey now, Brian, you are the producer of, which I mean with most sincerity, probably the most popular bass fishing talk show on the internet, and that's it's called Pete Glusick Live.
That's right.
Yes.
Pete Live.
No, seriously, dude. You guys got a phenomenal show, man.
Thanks. You're too kind. I love your show.
Well, thanks. You're just saying that because you're on here right now.
No, I really do.
What's the best part about our show?
You.
Now he's.
And I love the co-host tonight, man. I don't know where you got Marty Huggins, but I love him. Dude, I feel about as comfortable as you do, JP. So me and you, baby. Me and you.
Hey, is that Andy the Ginger Ninja's Ike Live hat that you're wearing right now?
Ooh, let me write that down. Send Andy a hat. Now, is this supposed to be a signed hat?
Yes, by you.
Oh,
we don't.
Right.
We don't.
Got it.
We don't want the "Don't Stop Trying" guy to sign it. We want you. We want you to sign it.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, but seriously, man, pretty cool gig you got. I mean, let's be real about this. And putting me in the same ballpark as you, as just being normal guy. We're just dudes, man. We really are. And we get to hang out with some of the best bass fishing personalities. It's a pretty sweet gig, isn't it, dude?
Yeah, it actually is pretty cool. It actually is. There's some really, really cool guys. And like you said, more than just the fact they can catch fish, but there's more levels to a lot of these guys. The guys that have gotten to the top, that have created their own brand, their own company, their own personality, their own, there's more levels to guys like that. And they're very, very interesting people. It's cool. It's fun to be around.
Yeah, absolutely it is. It's the evolution. Now, give me an example of one of these anglers that you feel has branded themselves accordingly, like from let's say nothing to everything.
Well, Ike, obviously.
Ike, yeah.
Right. Gerald is insane. Gerald's such an incredible individual. When you go on and on for days about Gerald. Marizo Shimizu, I may have mentioned that before when I was on your show.
Yeah.
Marizo was incredible. He was in studio for a show with us with Cliff Crochet.
Yeah.
It was a blast having the two of them. They couldn't understand a thing they said, but Marizo just left this air of positivity. That laughter is contagious, and it sticks to you. You know, he's just a very positive individual, and it's really cool.
Well, he is like the most famous dude in Japan.
Yeah, he's like the he's like the Yul Brynner of Japan.
I don't know who that is.
What does that even mean?
But yeah,
I don't.
Well, hey, while we're talking about Marizo,
Yeah.
So last time I was on your show, and I never thought I'd be back, but thank you, Pat.
You're a special mystery guest. Like this is like Scooby Doo right
Last
now.
time I was on, you asked me for a behind the scenes after Ike Live kind of story.
Oh boy, here's redemption.
And I totally flatlined.
Oh
right?
yes.
Which, if you put me on the spot, is often going to happen. But anyhow, afterwards I thought, and I was kicking myself for not bringing this up, but when we had Marizu and Cliff in studio, it was after the Potomac last year. They were in town. They came. We did the show. Marizu had a whole entourage with him.
Nice.
Like this whole crew of anonymous henchmen. You know.
No babes? Was there like Japanese babes or no?
No. But there was his whole his whole group there, and it was really cool. But after the show, it was summertime. We did our show. We went to the bar right there, Mike's bar outside the studio, and got a few drinks, and then went into the backyard and started playing. Mike's got a zip line back in the back of the yard, and a rope, and the rope's probably 25 to 30 feet high. It's up there, up in the tree.
Whoa.
So we all zip lined and smacked. The thing about a zip line is it's connected to one tree at the top of the hill and another tree at the bottom of the hill, which is exactly what you're going to run into. So that was fun. But but it was cool to be out in the backyard with all those guys and all these Japanese guys. It was cool. It was a lot of fun.
What's behind you, Brian? What is that? Is that like a tchotchke cabinet? I can't.
Yeah.
Like what's in there?
I don't know. My wife's stuff.
She got all kinds of stuff in there.
Yeah, my bowling trophies and whatnot.
Nice.
No basses.
No bass stuff.
No bass stuff.
This is actually the Stockl living room you're in?
Dining room. Here you go. This will interest you, Pat. There's a piano and a bassoon laying on the piano.
Do you know any songs? Look
Here's a valve trombone.
Holy, that's a rusty trombone, isn't it?
That, I think, is a case for a tuba. And there's another case over there. That's my youngest son. He's plays a lot of instruments.
Nice.
And the house is decorated with instruments. So, yeah. I don't know how to play any of them.
That was awesome.
That was it.
That was good stuff right there. The thing about you, Brian, I think that the common denominator that you, me, JP, everyone viewing right now, the Ginge Ninja, we love bass fishing.
Indeed.
We love it. I mean, it's such a unique sport. You and I have conversation for hours on end. Sometimes we talk too much about bass fishing. It's like, but it's because we share the passion for it, man. I mean, what
You're born with it, Pat.
Isn't it? That's exactly it.
You're born with it. I firmly believe that. I don't know what it is, but I think you're just born with it. When you've got that urge to get near the water, when you can't be near the water without a rod in your hand, that's just the way I was. It's the way Mike was, it's the way Dave was, Tom, John, the group that we all grew up with. We were just like that, and we all found each other in school, and there wasn't the social media thing or whatever. We just found each other like Cheerios in a bowl of milk, and just drawn to it, and you've got to fish. And that's just, like I said, you're just born with it. It's great. The things that Mike's doing with the Ike Foundation to expose kids to it, and I think that's amazing. The stuff the YouTubers do to expose kids to fishing, all that, is awesome stuff. I think at the end of it all, you've got it or you don't. You want to be there. You want to fish. Like my kids, they don't. They and that's okay. Sure. They found their passions, and they've got really cool passions. It's not fishing. I always thought that my kids would have to fish, or I'd get rid of them, sell them or whatever. But
sell them to the gypsies.
You grow up and realize there is other things. But for me, for you, JP, and the Ninja, it's fishing, and everybody listening. That's why we're here.
And you said we're born with it, but it's like I can't go by water without thinking about fish. Like I can't golf for that reason, because all I want to do is fish the ponds.
Right, and golf's stupid.
Yeah. but I mean, it's something that's there. There's such a mystery to bass fishing. It's the mystique. We've heard Denny Brower say it's putting the puzzle together. But it's more than that, man. It's conquering. It's conquering the giant. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Absolutely, man. For me, I believe it is putting the puzzle together. I'm the guy that I'll go out there and I'll start flipping a plastic bait, and I'll catch 2, I'll catch 3, I'll catch 4, and then I'll change baits. You know what I mean? And I got buddies that I was just with my buddy Keith the other day, and I looked in his boat, and there was 25 dead Yamamoto creature bodies, just dead soldiers littered the bottom of the boat, and I'm like. And it drove me nuts, man. They had these little tiny tears at the top. Yamamoto creature's an amazing bait, but you don't get a lot of life out of it. But for me, I would have caught 3 on it and then went to something else. What else can I catch them on? You know what I mean? Yeah, I know I can catch them on this. What else can I catch them on? Even if it's, that's just how I am. It's that solving the puzzle. It's, just trying to figure out what other things. I know I can catch them on that. What else can I get them on? What other colors or tactics, soft plastics?
And it broadens your horizons.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know until you try. It's like you might be catching them in a bay on the banks, but then you're always thinking like, hey, are they out in the middle of that bay too? In the isolated weed clumps? You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
And you don't know until you try. Me and Ginger did that yesterday. That's why I brought that.
Oh, how'd it go? Did you guys kill him?
We killed him, dude.
Awesome.
We absolutely killed him, and we weren't out too long, and we caught a bunch of fish.
Awesome.
It's anytime you're catching is a good day, dude. It's a good day. Hey, bass fishing talk shows. All right, bass fishing talk shows.
We're on one.
You got the original. Yeah, we're on one right now. You got the original recipe, which is Bass Talk Live. Okay, you have the spawn of Bass Talk Live, that is what you call like live. You have this extra crispy recipe here called Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. There's there's shows coming out of the woodwork, isn't there? There's a lot of them coming out. What do you think about that, Bri?
What do I think? I think it's a good thing. I do. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing if it gets more people to listen to podcasting.
Okay.
That's just the whole podcasting topic. I know we're live on Facebook right now. I don't know how you guys do. Most of our views are not on the live. 85% of our views come in the archive, not during the live show.
Right.
So, and that is downloading it to your phone, putting the earbuds in, or sitting at the desk when you're supposed to be working and watching it. Just getting more people dialed into podcasting, putting the earbuds in or plugging it into your car while you're driving.
On the way to the lake. Yeah, whatever.
On the way to the lake, the whole deal. And turning off stupid ass sports radio, because who cares about LeBron James or whatever?
Zona does.
Oh, who cares? But anyhow, just getting more people dialed into that, and there's so much out there to listen to, and it's pure, right, Pat?
Sure.
There's no executive, there's no industry coming down telling you what you can and can't say. This is your show. You call it Straight Cast. This is your show. You do and say what you want to do. That's it. Same with Ike Live. Now, yeah, we have some restraints because Mike's career is on the line and there's always sponsors watching. But at the end of the day, we do what we want to do. And we don't have, a television station telling us, oh, yeah, don't do that or do this. Coming in there, we write a script and they say, oh, yeah, but do this or do that. Who are you? No, this is our show. And that's what podcasting is. And that's the beauty of it. And I wish more people would get into it, not just in fishing, but in everything. There's amazing podcasts out there. It's cool stuff.
You're a podcast head.
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I know you are. I know you are. Now, let's pretend that you are now the host of a podcast or a bass fishing talk show.
I'm not a host, Pat.
You're good, but you're going to be right now. I told you. All right. Okay, so now you're the host, and we are your guests. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead. Host away.
Host away?
Yeah, do you want some music or something?
I'll go back to picking backlashes. All right, what do you want me to do?
It's time for the Brian Stockl Bass Fishing Live Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Stockl.
All right. Let me see what I wrote down here. Okay, Pat.
Yes,
if
Brian.
You trade one member of Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television for one member of Ike Live, who and why?
Oh gosh, I'm getting rid of popcorn.
No, you ain't.
Yeah, I'm getting rid because he ain't here tonight. So I'm trading him for the Stormtrooper.
Oh, that's a good upgrade.
Yeah, I'm upgrading for the Stormtrooper.
Oh yeah, that's a strong upgrade.
Yeah, but I love Ryan and I love Dave. So
okay, all right.
Disclaimer.
I was listening earlier, and this isn't really a question, but I was listening earlier, and who was it? You had Hackney on talking about mythological creatures.
Yes. Yes.
Who would you be? What would you be?
I
already know.
If I was a mythological creature.
Yes.
I would.
Oh, wait. JP. Oh. Who would he be?
I'd be a liger.
Who would Pat be? Yes, you would be a liger.
Mixed bread for your skills in magic. Yes.
Who would Pat be?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Like a carp. A magic carp. A magic carp from Pokemon.
Dude, I don't know. I could just see you with the horse body. You know what I mean?
The centaur.
And that mane of hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, that's.
Or Pan. Wasn't Pan one of them things?
Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, okay, I'll take that. I'm a sitar. Hackney wanted to.
I got breaking news.
Yeah.
I have a boat, right? I have a Champion.
You do.
Old boat sitting in the backyard.
Yeah.
I think I just traded it today.
Did you? For a brand new Bass Cat?
For an asphalt driveway.
Nice.
I swear to God, Pat. I'm pretty sure I just traded my 20-foot Champion with a 200 Merc on the back for an asphalt driveway.
That's not bad.
It's a good, and it's a true story.
And you're a family man, so that's good for the whole family.
Yeah, well, right now I'm growing tomatoes in the Champion, so it might be time to send her down the road. Let somebody else love her.
I told you those Champions are well sought after.
They are, dude. It's a badass boat.
It's a beast. It is a beast, like a centaur.
Yeah, like a centaur.
Okay, yeah. So keep hosting. Get back to your show.
Hosting?
Yeah, get back to your show.
That was sad breaking news, by the way.
I actually found a lot of value in your conversation with the double drop shot.
Yeah, that's something we got to try.
Yeah, no, that was cool because I've thrown that before, and it's funny because Scott mentioned this. He started throwing it to see which bait they were going to bite, and it's the same reason I started throwing it, just to cover water and to try to figure out the puzzle quicker, right? It's cold. For me, it was cold water. I knew about where they were, so it wasn't like I'm trying to cover water, but I'm trying to figure them out. So throw two baits at them and see which one they're eating and at what height. I wasn't splitting them. I didn't, tie a swivel and all that stuff. I was just separating it by about that much with 2 hooks. And where I'm from, we don't have that 2 fish at one time problem.
Gotcha.
You get 1 fish at one time. But yeah, I have caught him on that double drop shot, and it's a cool deal. So it was neat to hear somebody else talk about it. It's funny though, he won't throw it again. There's this stigma on throwing that deal. I don't know why.
Something happens. You ever see those dum-dums that put like 5 different baits on an A-rig?
Yeah.
I mean, why do they do that?
I don't know. I don't know nothing about an A-rig. I know a little bit about an A-rig.
Have you ever caught a fish on one?
I have. I actually got a double on one. And on the very next cast,
gone.
There went all the gym shoes on the coat hanger.
Well, speaking of that double drop shot, that double drop shot, I've done it with just a finesse jig instead of a weight.
I've done that too. I put the little bitsy bug on the bottom.
Yeah, and that actually worked. They ate the jig.
Yeah. No, I've done that too. But for some reason, they call you a flounder fisherman or something if you do that.
Flounder.
It's like you're up down rate.
Hey, man, Brian, it's kind of cool that you came on as like a mystery guest tonight. Do you prefer this over like the hype and the Brian's coming on the Stray Cast show? Do you like the mystery?
I prefer to sit back and watch.
Okay. But I've told you before, man, whether you like it or whether you know it or not, you are a bass fishing personality. Do you realize that?
Well, that's what you say, bud.
It's the truth.
Here we are.
It's self-discovery. You must realize that about you, because in order to catch the owl, you must watch the mouse, right?
This is correct.
We learned that. We learned that. Hey, Brian, you got any final words for us, man? We are out of time here. You got any final words for us, dude?
No, man. No. Appreciate you having me on, dude. Love the show. Love the new co-host.
Thank
you, man.
When is Stormtrooper gonna come on the Stray Cast show? That's what we need. I'd like Stormtrooper to just tear me apart, dude.
I tried to make it happen tonight.
You couldn't do it?
Dude, he goes into work at 1 a.m.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? So it's 10 o'clock right now, our time. He's long gone, so.
Remember that time that Martin Stone schooled the Stormtrooper on the Ike Live show?
I do.
And
awesome. So does he.
Is vengeance his?
Oh, he's got you in his sights, Pat.
That wasn't me. That was Martin Stone.
Yeah. Hey, you coming out for the Ike Foundation event?
We're gonna try to. Yes, we are.
That would be amazing. You should really try.
Yeah.
July 8th.
Yeah, we're gonna try and come out. I don't know if we'll fish the event, but we'll definitely come to the party. I think that's what we're planning on.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
When's the next Ike Live show?
Not until June 18.
June 18.
Yeah, maybe June 11th, but Becky just shot me down today. We were going to do one this Sunday, but dearest Peter still hasn't gotten back to me yet.
What's he doing?
Waiting for that text, Pete.
Is he watching Golden Girls marathons again?
Yes, he is.
Stop being a jabroni, Pete.
Yeah. Stop being a jabroni.
But June 18 is in the books. It's a ways out there, unfortunately. Mike's schedule's retarded, so it's what we got to deal with. But we have Luke Duncan in studio.
Nice. Luke is awesome.
And it's actually Father's Day, so
awesome.
I don't know.
Awesome.
We'll get Luke a cake or something.
Find Brian Stockl as Brian the Carpenter on Instagram, and on he's Brian Stockl on the book face, and of course you see him producing Ike Live whenever Ike Live is on. Brian, thank you so much, dude, for coming on and hanging out with us again, dude.
Hey, man. Thanks, Pat.
Don't go changing, Brian. Don't go changing.
You got it, buddy.
We love you just the way you are, just like Billy Joel.
All right, man.
That's Brian Stockl. Hey, thanks so much. Another action-packed bass fishing talk show right here, Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm Pat Renwick. This is JP High. On behalf of Ryan Popcorn Whitaker, the Ginger Ninja, Larry Kyleman, thank you so much to the fans and sponsors for making this show possible here. And it's Bobby Bergren's birthday coming up, and it's Andy Ginger's birthday coming up. So you can send them contributions and birthday cards via the Straightcast Facebook page. Donations are accepted, of course. Of course they are. Hey, next week, who we got next week?
I don't know. Who do we got?
Aaron Martins. Aaron Martins coming on the show next week. That should be a good one. Hey, see you then, or I will see you on another time. I'm Pat Renwick. I'm out.
Yeah.